Hello and welcome to the Rugby World Cup Offload here on ThePapare.com. It's a decisive week. This is finals week. We've seen the semi-finals done and dusted. Two outstanding games in the Rugby World Cup semi-finals. And to talk about them with me and to look ahead at the finals, championship winning coach and familiar face here with us here in Sri Lanka, Tavi Tatulangesi Laga, as he is known to his mates. Laga, it's been an outstanding weekend of rugby, and we've got the two best teams meeting up in the finals now.
Yes, certainly. Morning, Shanika. Morning, everyone. Yes. I think it's fair to say that these two teams are the best in the world right now. So it's exciting time. Who's playing good rugby? I think attack-wise, the All Blacks have got it sorted in that way. But defensively, the Wallabies will be tough.
Yeah, they're looking good, and let's look at the first semi-final, New Zealand versus South Africa. That's how this one turned out. 20 points to 18 was how it finished. But the key thing there, Laga, was the two tries. Jerome Kano scoring one and Baden Barrett scoring another one for New Zealand, and the fact that South Africa couldn't get past them.
Yeah, certainly. South Africa from right from the beginning, weren't really up to the mark. Really, I mean, they big guys who. In my opinion, a bit over the age, but like I said, the brand of rugby that the All Blacks are playing, it's very exciting, very for people to watch. But South Africa were very good in the first 60 minutes of the game. I got to say they defended quite well. The contact area was very tough for the All Blacks to get that goal forward on the side of the rocks. But when they spun the ball out wide, when they spin it out wide, certainly you got some guys who can really finish.
One thing I'm a little concerned about, Laga, is that they won only by 2 points. If you look at these stats here behind us, the territory is almost 70% for New Zealand. You've got last 10 minutes territory, almost 70% to New Zealand. The whole match we got possession, 60% almost to New Zealand. So are you surprised that a team with so much dominance on the park won by only 2 points?
It's World Cup semi-final, Shana, and I think the key to the All Blacks is Daniel Carter. I mean, he missed the last one through injuries, but I think he'll be the man. And again, last night, on Saturday, it was proven that he was the man. I mean, drop kicks and plus the conversion from the side. So 1 or 2 points. Yeah, surprisingly, the way they was, I thought in the second half they would have changed it up a bit more. They would have changed their way, the way they play. They would have pushed the ball out a bit wider and come back there. But they tend to go to the middle and come back the same way. So, yeah, interestingly, but if you don't win the breakdown, it's a problem altogether. So that's where I think they'll find it hard against Australia with Bocock and Hooper.
And penalties conceded, Laga, 14 penalties conceded by New Zealand, only 6 by South Africa. Discipline a concern?
Very much so. Yeah. We saw Jerome Kano there, just a silly one. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he wasn't. He wasn't very happy, but he was on the pin for it. Referees now very strict, so you got to be on your best. Discipline when it comes in, especially when it comes to finals, yeah.
And Kieran Reid coming through on the mauls a couple of times, it was pretty obvious that he knew what he was doing as well, Laga. So as a coach, would you advise players against teams like South Africa to give the penalty early?
Not so much so. I think they were pushing the rules a bit more. It was a bit tricky at times. He was the initial. If you're in the maul initially, I mean, if you make that contact initially, then you should be okay. But once the maul is formed, then you can't come in from anything. So yeah, I think he was pushing it way too much. And the French referee wasn't going to have any of it. Yeah.
And you look at the lineouts, Laga, 4 lineouts stolen by Sam Whitelock and the rest of them. They brought Matt Field on to try and sort the lineout out, but ironically, the final lineout was stolen off him as well. So you think the All Blacks have really done a lot of homework there? Yeah,
they have to. The South African are being very strong in the lineouts in the last, you can say 8 to 10 years, and of course they play the championship. They play them regularly, so they've obviously done a lot of work on it. And they only brought 3 locks into this World Cup, New Zealand. So they've got a lot of trust on these guys who are on the paddock, yeah.
And they're not even putting the lock on the bench, so Luke Romano is not on the bench. They're playing 2 back row forwards, Vito and Sam Cane. Is that a concern for you as a coach, Laga?
Not so much so. I mean, it depends on, you look at the final, it's going to be very exciting in the breakdown, so you'll need a bit of dynamic in the breakdowns to sort of win those contests. I mean, Pocock last night, was phenomenal. He's too good. He was too good. I don't think Argentina had any idea of how to shift him off the ball. It'll be tough.
So I'm going to ask you, Laga, as an Aucklander, as a guy who knows his New Zealand team inside out, who knows New Zealand rugby inside out, will they make the change? Will Sam Cane start next Saturday?
I don't think he'll start. I think in today's game, and even how Steve Henson, I mean, they've been planning for a while now. I think you'll want that impact off the bench. Whether you'll get him earlier on the piece or later on, that's depending on how the match will fan out. But certainly having a good bench, I mean, that's been the strength of the All Blacks in this particular tournament, even in the past as well. So he's just got to plan accordingly. But yeah, he might get him on the 60th minute. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Laga's call, 60th minute, Sam Cane's introduction. Will it make a difference? Will the match go until that point? Let's look at the second semi-final. Argentina, a lot expected from them. They played the running rugby. They fell on their own sword in the semi-final as well. But it was good to see, Laga, that they didn't change the way they played just because it was a semi-final. Yeah,
it'll be hard to change when you're winning that sort of match. And they've been playing some good rugby too. I mean, they're well known for their set pieces, but certainly when they air the ball out wide, they've got some guys. But I just thought in that 30th minute, just before half-time, they missed that try, and that was a crucial to the course of them keeping staying in the match. If they had just scored before, just before half-time, it would have given them a lot of confidence as well. But they just not managing to sort of get the pass in hand, and the Australians were, they put their bodies on the line. So when it comes to semi-final, they're the ones to beat.
Yeah, and when you look at that sort of defense they've put up against Wales and now yesterday against Argentina as well, Laga, you think that this is going to take a toll when it comes to the finals?
I think so. Yeah, I think Australia have been a form team right from the beginning. I think they've been playing quite well too, and I like the way Michael Cheika has got these boys firing up at the right time as well. That match against Scotland was certainly a very, very close one, and then they needed that too to get it, to get on top of Scotland. And I think I think it would take a little bit out of them. That's a dangerous thing right now, really, for the Wallabies because they have been playing good rugby right from the beginning. So it will be a very good test for them to see how they go against the All Blacks.
Yeah,
best team in the world.
As Laga says, best team in the world, and you need to pull out some magic to beat a team like that, which is what Rob Simmons did yesterday, Laga, with that initial interception try. You need something like that in big games.
Of course, you need the pounds of the ball to come your way, and you need you got to make your luck, and you got to work hard for it. Today's game, everyone's on it. Coaches doing their homework and video analyzing and all sorts of things. The technology has gone forward. So yeah, you need things like that. You need opportunities. They don't come very often in these semi-finals and especially the finals. So that's what Argentina weren't able to do last night. But a team like Australia, they'll take anything that comes their way.
And hat-trick hero Ashley Cooper, he scored more tries against the All Blacks than anyone else in rugby history. You think he's going to be a factor in the semi-final, in the finals?
They need to keep an eye on him. He's a world-class athlete. The guy's been in the Wallabies for quite some time now, and he's finishing. So you'll like to finish on a good note. But Richie Mccaw, on the other hand, in my opinion, he's the best. He's the best. He's the best man that's ever played for the All Blacks. Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got Daniel Carter as well, who is a man who brought everything out on the park against South Africa and took them to that win. But looking at the finals, Laka, you think the best two teams in the final?
Very much so. Yeah, these are the super teams in the competition in the World Cup, and you can say that. Both teams have won the World Cup twice. So this will be just to get ahead of the other team. But it will be a very tight tussle.
Let's look at the head-to-heads, of course. It actually reads quite surprisingly, 105 to New Zealand as against 42 to Australia. So that's a bit of a disparity there. But recently, they've beaten the All Blacks a few times as well, Laga. So let's look at that one. That's the important one because we have World Cup history. That's going to be the problem. 1991, the semi-final went Australia's way. 2003, the semi-final went Australia's way. And the All Blacks beat Australia for the first time in 2011.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the All Blacks, we're neighbours with Australia, so we play these games regularly with the Tri Nation. When the Tri Nation came up, and in the Bledisloe Cup, that's very dear to the New Zealanders, and then now the Championship. So, but yeah, the World Cups, they've got the edge on us, on the All Blacks, 2-1. Remember that 2003 semi-final in Sydney when Morlock intercepted the ball and scored underneath the goal post. But the last one, 2011, that was a bit of a sweeter moment for the Kiwi boys. And this is sort of, this is even bigger. It doesn't get any bigger than this. And, there are a lot of guys in the All Blacks that are finishing, the end of their careers. Ma'anonu, Daniel Carter, Richie Mccaw, and also on the Australian side. So they want to finish on a high note.
Yeah, they definitely will want to finish on the high note, and that's the final looking out for you. That's the one that we've all been waiting for. 46 games have been played so far, and this is one that we've all been waiting for as well, because it is going to decide who is going to hold the championship for the first time for the third time. So that's something that we're going to decide, who is the first 3-time champion in this Rugby World Cup. And then we've got look at the third place playoff as well. That's the one between Argentina and South Africa. Laga, it's a cruel game to expect someone to come out and play.
It'll be hard to get yourself motivated, but you want to be called number 3 in the world, not number 4. So a lot of motivation for these guys, and even some of the guys who are finishing their career as well. So it'll be good for them to finish well, finish the World Cup well. Argentina, on the other hand, they get very emotional the way. So I think it'll be nice for them to come number 3. Yet to be seen, huh?
Well, they finished third in the World Cup before. 2007 was when that happened. But Diego Maradona sitting and watching this one, Laga, we've seen him win a lot against Argentina, but maybe they need to bring in Lionel Messi or something, because they've got just a 1 win against South Africa recently. You think that they can manage it this time? Well,
they beat South Africa not very long ago, so they're certainly more than capable. But whether they'll have the motivation factor behind it, that's a big question, and whether they can sort of hick another battle, another one. So yet to be seen, but don't think they can. But I'll give them a chance.
Okay, so they're in with a chance, definitely. And looking at Argentina versus South Africa, that's going to be on Friday, and that one is a late kickoff as well on Friday evening. And then we've got the finals coming up on Saturday. That's a 4 p.m. kickoff, and now with daylight saving time coming into the picture, it means that it's a 9:30 kickoff here in Sri Lanka. Don't forget to join all our build-up on ThePapare.com for that match. Laga, before we go, call it. Who's going to win the World Cup?
Well, the Wallabies were the only team to beat the All Blacks this year. That was in Sydney about 10 weeks ago. And that's when they played Pocock and Hooper. So I'll give them well, I think it'll be very close, but the All Blacks by 4.
The All Blacks by 4. Let's wait and see how this one goes. It will be a very, very exciting clash. That much is for sure. The 2 best teams in the World Cup coming up against each other on Saturday. And don't forget, you can watch those finals live on TV here in Sri Lanka. And make sure you join all our build-up on the Rugby World Cup, Offload and ThePapare.com. Laga, thanks a lot for joining us. All the best.
Thank you. Bom estudo.